Good day. Today our topic is yoga is confining mind from taking various forms. Really, eyes are seeing the object, which is the question. Today we discuss. Myself, Dr. B. Suresh Kumar, Department of Mechanical Engineering, K. Ramakrishnan College of Technology, Tiruchirappalli. In Tamil, famous poetry, திருவள்ளுவர் மனத்துக்கண் மாசிலன் ஆதல் அனைத்தரன் ஆகுல நீர பிற, which means having a clean heart is the root for living a high moral life. All other good characters would be like water absorbed by the root. Eyes do not see. Why? How? I say eyes do not see. Let's see. Every eyes are only a secondary instrument, not the organ of vision. Then who? The organ of vision is in the nerve center of the brain. The two eyes will not be sufficient alone. Sometimes a man is asleep with his eyes open. The light is there and the picture is there. But a third thing is necessary. Mind must be joined to the organ. Yes, mind, hearing, organ, and intellect. These three things are important. Our mind has not attached itself to the organ of hearing. First, there is the instrument, then there is the organ, and third, the mind. Attachment to these two. The mind takes the impression further in and presents it to the determinative faculty. Intellect which reacts. Yes, along with this reaction flashes the idea of our egoism, then this mixture of action and reaction is presented to the mental stuff, the real soul. And who perceive an object in this mixture? The organs, together with the mind, the determinative faculty, and the egoism from the group called the internal instrument. They are put various processes in the mind stuff called by Yoga Sutra, called Chitta. The waves of thought in the mind stuff are called waves. The waves are like a whirlpool, is the literal translation. Yes. Here, thought playing with our mind step. What is thought? Thought is a force, as is gravitation or repulsion. It is absorbed from the infinite storehouse of force in nature. The instrument called mind stuff takes hold of that force, and when it passes out at the other end, it is called thought. Yes, mind and thought is connected together with some instruments. This force is supplied to us through food, and out of that food, the body obtains the power of motion, etc. Others, the finer forces, it throws out in what we call thought. Naturally, we see that the mind is not intelligent, yet it appears to be intelligent. Why? Because the intelligent soul is behind it. We are the only sentient being. Mind is only the instrument through which you catch the external world. So internal world is different, external world is different. Mind can capture the object from external world, and the mind can absorbs inside world, transfers the data to inside world. So if a stone is thrown into the water is thrown against it is in the form of waves. The real universe is the occasion of the reaction of the mind. A man form is not outside. All that we know is our mental reaction from the outer suggestion. Matter is the permanent possibility of sensation. Take an oyster as an example. You know how pearls are made. A grain of sand or something gets inside and begins to irritate oyster, and the oyster throws a sort of enameling around the sand, and this makes the pearl. This whole universe is our own enamel, so to say, and the real universe is a grain of sand. The ordinary man will never understand it because when he tries to, he throws out an enamel and sees only his own enamel. Now we understand what is meant by these waves. The real man is behind the mind, and the mind is the instrument in his hands, and it is intelligence that is percolating through it. It is only when you stand behind it that it becomes intelligent. When man gives it up, it falls to pieces and is nothing. So you understand what is meant by mind stuff and the waves and the ripples rising in it when external causes impinge on it. These waves are our whole universe. The bottom of the lake we cannot see because its surface is covered with the ripples, as like this diagram. It is only possible when the ripple have subsided and the water is calm for us to catch a glimpse of the bottom. If the water is muddy, the bottom will not be seen. If the water is agitated all the time, the bottom will not be seen. If the water is clear and there are no waves, we shall see the bottom. The bottom of the lake is our own true self. The lake is the mind stuff and the waves. Again, this mind is in three states. One is darkness, just as brutes and idiots. It only acts to injure others. No other idea comes into that state of mind. Then there is the active state of mind whose chief motives are power and enjoyment. I will be powerful and rule others. Then, at last, when the waves cross us and the water of the lake becomes clear, there is the state called serenity, calmness. It is not inactive, but rather intensely active. It is the greatest manifestation of power to be calm. The calm man is not a man who is dull. You must not mistake for dullness or laziness. The calm man is the one who has restraint of these waves. Activity is the manifestation of lower strength, calmness of the superior strength. This mind stuff is always trying to get back to its natural pure state, but the organs throw it out to restrain it and to check this outward tendency and to start it to the return journey to the essence of intelligence is the first step in yoga, because only this way can the mind stuff get into its proper course. Mind stuff manifests itself in all these different forms, which are scattering, darkening, weakening, and concentrating. These are the four states in which the mind stuff manifests itself. First, a scattered form is actively, its tendency is to manifest in the form of pleasure of pain. Then the dull form is darkness, the only tendency of which is to injure others. The commentator says the first form is natural to the angels and the devas, and the second is the dominantial form. The concentrated form of the mind stuff is what brings us to calm or silent. Thank you. Now you are aware about what is the relationship between mind and yoga.